I'm Macy Eglund. Only in Newsday, 2 local mosques are fighting to expand. However, the towns have blocked proposals in New Hyde Park and Bethpage in recent years. Now, while town code varies, legal experts say municipalities are bound by federal law to treat religious and secular facilities the same.
What's at stake here is a fundamental First Amendment right to worship, free exercise of religion. Unless you're on a boat or on an airplane, you worship on land and you gather with other people, and building a house of worship is a fundamental act of religious exercise.
In the next 2 minutes, how the battle is impacting how some worshipers pray and the responses from North Hempstead and Oyster Bay towns. Now to the war in Iran. This morning, the U.S. military says it will begin to blockade Iran's ports in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, ships traveling between non-Iranian ports will still get through. The move comes after talks between the U.S. and Iran ended without an agreement. Meanwhile, U.S. military forces are on a mine-clearing mission in the Strait. It's using the Navy destroyer U.S.S. Michael Murphy to carry that out. The ship is named after the Patchogue Navy SEAL who was killed more than 20 years ago during a mission in Afghanistan. A Nassau school reopens today following a devastating fire. The West Side School in Laurel Hollow closed last month after flames damaged the library and several other rooms. Students were forced to attend other schools in the district while repairs were made. Dozens of residents are displaced after fire ripped through 10 apartments at this Deer Park apartment building. Another 12 units were damaged by smoke at the Maple Crest complex yesterday afternoon. The Red Cross is helping residents who have no place to stay. Well, the Islanders' playoff hopes have come to an end. They lost to Montreal last night at U.S.S. Arena. The Canadiens scored 3 times in less than a minute, beating the Isles 4-1 and officially eliminating them from playoff contention. All right, it is Monday. Let's talk about your forecast. Today begins a really nice warm-up that stretches through the week. We've got that to look forward to. It'll be nice to spend some time outside, right? This is a look at the coast at Sunset Beach and Inlet in Montauk. Nice shot there. Today, your Monday, cloudy, a bit windy, but highs top out into the upper 60s, even 70 degrees across parts of the island. It stays sunny and in the 60s and 70s all the way through the weekend. Look at that. Nice week ahead. Saturday's looking good in the mid-60s. Right now, Sunday a bit cooler, and we've got a chance for some rain.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
Muslims on Long Island are fighting fierce opposition, trying to expand their house of worship. Here at the Hillside Islamic Center in New Hyde Park, worshipers pray during Ramadan, bundled in hats, hoodies, and winter jackets because it's below freezing, and they're in an overflow outdoor tent warmed by space heaters.
No one wants to be freezing cold and praying, you know. Especially if you're in the floor outside here, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, super cold.
The center has been trying for years to expand by adding a 3rd story and more than 60 additional parking spots, but the town of North Hempstead rejected the plan in 2024, saying the expansion violates its code. In the rejection, the town, referencing traffic and parking violations in the vicinity, wrote that the plan would, quote, turn the residential area into a parking lot similar to commercial use. The board finds this incompatible with the residential character of the neighborhood. The center sued the town and won, but the town filed an appeal. Earlier this month, the center also filed a federal lawsuit accusing the town of violating federal religious land use laws.
You cannot say it's impact my worship because it's on my head and heart. But the thing is, it's the feeling of other people, those who cannot come, because we don't have any space. We want the facility that we deserve.
Now, this is not the only mosque expansion that's being challenged here in the island. There's another in Bethpage. Joining me to dig more into this issue is my colleague at Newsday, Josh Needleman. He covers the town of North Hempstead. Also, Abdul Bhuyan, the Hillside Islamic Center's chairman of the Board of Trustees, and Luke Goodrich, the vice president of the Beckett Fund for Religious Liberty, a nonprofit law firm. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Josh, we're going to start with you. These mosque expansions being fought in two different towns, opposite ends of Nassau and North Hempstead. A town spokesperson said in a statement, quote, "The matter ultimately centers on the quality of life for residents living near the center and the town's effort to balance those concerns, particularly around traffic, safety, and parking, with the interests at stake." In Oyster Bay, a town spokesperson said in a statement, "The Oyster Bay Town Code is applied equally to libraries, theaters, museums, and houses of worship." So Josh, a little bit more. What's behind all this pushback?
Yeah, so in North Hempstead, actually in 2023, the town's planning board recommended approval for this site plan, and of course went to the town board, and after a series of public hearings, the town ended up rejecting the expansion. A lot of residents complained about what they perceived to be nuisances around the mosque at the time, parking issues, traffic issues, and the town ended up rejecting the proposal. Very similar in Oyster Bay, the town ended up changing its parking requirement to have it be matched on occupancy rather than square footage. And then later on, they ended up actually changing the code again to apply the same standard to secular facilities. Again, similar to North Hempstead, parking concerns, traffic concerns, and the fear that expansion would exacerbate those issues in both towns.
All right, Abdul, let's turn to you. You heard the town's objections. Fair, unfair?
Very unfair. It is unfortunate that we have to go through all this thing at the expense of the taxpayers' money. And in the case of Hillside Islamic Center, that our application is everything within the zoning. We didn't ask for variance except for the setback, where the town actually changed the setback rules from the 13 feet to now 20 feet. So that's the only minor the variance that we are looking for at this time. If we go through all this thing. But as far as the town complain about the quality of life, the traffic, and we've been there for since 2003 in active center. There's never been any accident. And the issues that they're raising, they were the inequality of life and all this thing. What do they mean by quality of life? When we first moved here, the houses were selling. If you walk on the street, you would have seen the houses were breaking apart, stoops are falling apart. Now you go there and mansions are there. Mm-hmm. Quality of life, meaning our school system, our New Harper Road School is one of the greatest schools right now. Mm-hmm. And if you go there, have beautiful homes, lawns are well taken care of, streets are clean. If that's not a quality of life they're looking for, I'm just completely confused. What are they looking for? Yes, you have more people coming in because of the center. When the center is active, people coming there, and they pray. And they mind their own business, and they go about, after finishing prayer, they leave.
Luke, I'd like to get you involved in this here. You think this is all part of a larger issue? Do you sense any kind of discrimination behind the decisions by the towns?
These sorts of conflicts are a very common legal issue in communities across the country. But what's at stake here is a fundamental First Amendment right to worship, free exercise of religion. Unless you're on a boat or on an airplane, you worship on land and you gather with other people. And building a house of worship is a fundamental act of religious exercise that every faith group in the country needs to engage in. The issue is that houses of worship are often unpopular in the zoning context. They may be unpopular in residential areas because people say they bring too much traffic. They may be unpopular in commercial areas because people say they don't bring enough traffic. And they may be unpopular simply because people don't like the faith that they profess. There are cases of discrimination. And the problem is the zoning context is highly discretionary. You have these boards that operate with very vague standards, consistent with the nature of the community and things like that. And it makes it very easy to mask discrimination toward a particular faith group.
Josh, in your reporting, did you catch any vibes of that from town officials or residents or anything that you suspected? I'm talking about, discrimination.
Yeah, they've denied that. In North Hempstead specifically, they've insisted it's really just about quality of life. And in fact, in their state lawsuit, the town argued that they don't have to make zoning exceptions for religious institutions. That's not necessarily something that they have to follow. So for them, it's really just about maintaining quality of life, parking, traffic. They've said that a mosque expansion could lead to an overstraining of resources, potentially making it difficult for emergency vehicles to pass through. But yeah, they've both adamantly denied that discrimination plays any role.
All right, topic we could go on much more about, a big one here on Long Island and all across the country. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. I want to thank you all for being here to talk about this important topic. You could read more about the battle of the mosque expansions on the island, how much legal fights are costing the towns, on Newsday.com.
Out East with Doug Geed is brought to you by Connect One Bank, a better place to be.
Now, what's old is new again. Lumber and Salt in Jamesport is attracting antiquers from all over. Let's head out east with Doug Geed.
How many of you are old enough to remember these? They're called Viewmasters. Might seem a little primitive now, but when they came out, boy, they were very popular. They came with these little wheels with different scenes. You'd put them right in here and be taken off to some foreign land. Well, this is just one of the many, many unique things you'll find at a place called Lumber and Salt in Jamesport. I'm Doug Geed, out east on Newsday TV.
We deal in architectural salvage, reclaimed materials, agricultural products, plants, things for the garden and home, a lot of repurposing of objects and material.
John Mazer loves to collect old things.
So these are European. This would be a grain bin. It probably wasn't a mercantile 100 years ago. They would probably have flour or grains or seeds that you could buy.
Mazer scours Long Island and areas around the tri-state looking for all kinds of things that people might want to buy for their home, or things that can be refurbished for a new purpose, or things they themselves turn into something new. They turn these industrial metal barrels into hanging light fixtures.
We have repeat customers every single week that are coming back because our product is ever changing. You can get a little mug or, something under $10, or you can walk out with an antique door that's, over $2,000.
Mazer's partner Brooke Cantone says the turnover of what they sell is high.
Every week, you never know what you're going to come in to find. It's a treasure trove of objects and material and product. We found that if you like it, get it, because the likelihood of it being there when you come back is low.
Mantles that people refurbish for their homes are a big seller. Tables are also a popular item, including this one from a school.
We just got that in. They're old cafeteria-style tables with cast iron bases, the swing-out stools.
Lumber and Salt has also done furnishing projects for many wineries, farm stands, and other local shops.
There's no real formula to what we do. We like what we like and we know what we are going to do, but no two design projects are the same.
So whether you're looking for a small knick-knack or looking to renovate a room in your home, you might want to browse around here. You just might come up with a bright idea. In Jamesport for Newsday TV, I'm Doug Geed.
To plan your visit to Lumber and Salt and to see more Out East with Doug Geed segments, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Only a Newsday, youth baseball in Brentwood just got a big boost thanks to the Suffolk Police Athletic League. Matt Lindsay has that story.
The effort to revitalize youth baseball in Brentwood just got a big boost. The Suffolk Police Athletic League donated more than $5,000 of equipment to Brentwood baseball a week ahead of the brand new Little League's opening day.
I saw that an opportunity to possibly help the community in Brentwood by getting PAL involved, because we realized that they may need some assistance.
We in Brentwood Baseball believe in giving our kids twice the baseball for half the price, and we really mean that.
Reaching out to Tom He said if we could help him with some equipment, that would make it more affordable for the kids to be able to play and grow his program. If we give children opportunity, they will migrate to it and they will take those opportunities further.
Thank you so much.
We're all about the kids. It's what we do, what we've been doing for 30, 40 years. And the evidence of 200 kids wanting to play shows the need here in the Brentwood community.
In Brentwood, I'm Matt Lindsay for Newsday TV.
And read more about the donation on our website, newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. You can see more on all of the stories you've seen today on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. We've got more local news coming up.
You'll always find something exciting with Carissa Kelman on Newsday TV. From vacations and destinations to hidden places and insider spaces. Let's go with Carissa Kelman. Now available at newsday.com/Carissa.